That's how I keep. I'm gonna. So, what's your point? So, I gotta ask this. So, Cosmic Dean said there were 50 plus servers at the start. Now there are only 3 servers yet. What's your point? It's almost like you sound like you've never played a live service game before. So, here's the reality of live service games. We're gonna do an educational TED talk this morning. There is something called the rate of attrition when it comes to live service games, or any game for that matter. Single player games have rate of attrition as well. When a game first comes out, there's a huge surge of people to go play the game. It's new, it's fresh, it's exciting, it's something we haven't seen before. So everybody flocks to it and plays it. And then you get about 3 weeks in, 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, 6 weeks in. People go away. People do other shit. We have Hulu, Netflix, HBO Plus, Paramount Plus, thousands of other games to play, right? So in the first 3 to 6 weeks of a game, everybody goes in, plays all the content that there is to see, and then they move away and play other things. No one says a peep when something like, say, Jedi Fallen Order comes out. 150,000 people go play the game on day one, and then by day 7, there's 90,000 people playing. And by day 75, there's 10,000 people playing. That's because people played what there is to see, beat the content, moved on to play other things. It's not that fucking difficult, right? It's a rate of attrition. People play the game, do the things, move on because they're done with the things that there were to see. Live service games are no different. People go play, they see, they move on. Right, ESO started with 9, they have 3 now. World of Warcraft started with however many. World of EverQuest 1, EverQuest 2, Star Wars: Old Republic, Lord of the Rings Online, etc., 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 etc. Right? That's how the rate of attrition works. People see, they do, they move on, they see, they do, in another game, they move on, they see, they do, they see, they do, they see, they do, they see, they do, and they move on every time they're done. That's a normal cycle. The percentage of people who play live service games on a regular basis is about 5 to 7% are the amount of total out of your total sales. It's 5 to 7%. How do I know that? Because I've actually built, produced, designed, developed, and launched an MMORPG, unlike the vast majority of couch surfing couch developers who are like, they started with 50 servers and now they only have 3. The game is failing. Look at the Steam numbers. So, a normal rate of long-term success for any MMO or live service game is 5 to 7% of your total sales are going to be the people who stick with the game and play it, and nothing but. That's why you still have people playing EverQuest 1 after 25 plus years, because there's that 5 to 7% of people who will still stick around and play the game. There's about 60% of a game's player base who will buy the game, play the game, move on, and then come back when there's a DLC, which is what's happening right now with New World. There's a huge influx of new people who are playing the game. They will go away in 3 to 6 weeks once they have finished the content. I am one of these people. I play this game as a single player RPG. There's a new content drop, I'm going to play it until I beat it, and then I'm off to do other shit. We've got Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 in about a week. I've got Outer Worlds 2 later this month. I've got Karn next month. I've got a ton of games that I play. This is the day job. I play 5 to 8 games every single month. I play a game, I beat it, and I move on to the next thing. It's not that difficult to comprehend. So I will always push back on people who make stupid comments like, but the game had this many people at launch and now it only has this many people. Duh. Duh. That's called attrition. So anyway, by the way, 60% or so buy, play, come back for DLCs. 5 to 7% stick around long term. And then you have that 25 to 30% who buy a game, play it, and then say, you know what, it's not for me, and they move on and they never come back. And again, those numbers are generally speaking statistical norms. There are exceptions to that rule, but generally speaking, that is the number of people. And that's not just for live service games, that's for pretty much every single game out there. Again, there are unicorn exceptions, but unicorn exceptions do not set the standard for the rest of the industry. So, That's your TED Talk on player attrition this morning, and why all of you who keep talking about, but the game had this many servers at launch and now it only has this many, need to shut the fuck up and go back to school. Player attrition. We're at 50 minutes in, and we already had to answer a really stupid conversation this morning. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. We're watching right now. If you're watching on YouTube, this is after the fact, but we're live on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Kick, so you can watch wherever you want. I'm live every single day at the same time. We're about an hour into the stream this morning. We've still got a few hours to go. I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm sure we'll answer more stupid questions as we get deeper into this morning. I look forward to it. It's how I make a living, because I get to cut stuff like this out and put it up on YouTube, where I make lots of ad revenue. And then I can farm it out on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Yeah, Dog Soldier. Like, if you love a game, Lou is mentioning Star Wars: The Republic, 15-year-old game. I play it off and on. I'm the same way. Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars: The Republic. I have played those games since launch. I do not play those games every single day. I dip in and out once every 18 months or so. I play those games. I'll come in and I'll sub up for about 60 days, and I'll beat all the content that I haven't seen, and then I move on to do other things. Dune Awakening, I played at launch, went away for a couple of months. They had a story drop. I went back. It was like 3 days of streaming, cleared the story content. I'm off to other things. Like, this is, I'll probably get 25, 30 hours out of the story content that dropped for this DLC, and then I'll move on to other things. It's not rocket science. And honestly, you know, um, it really is one of those issues with just armchair developers who come over from Reddit and think that because their favorite big streamer told them that, look at the stream numbers, and it's like, stream numbers don't mean shit, bitch. And until you've worked in the industry, you need to actually go work in the industry to understand these things. We've talked about this before. Like, if you're not a dentist, you don't know jack shit about dentistry, and you lose the right to say anything about dentistry because you're not a dentist. If you're not an astrophysicist, you lose the right to talk about what NASA does. Like, you can't speak with, like, expertise about, well, those Steam page numbers are dropping on the NASA projection list because, people aren't watching the Mars rover. Well, if you're not working in astrophysics, and you're not in that space, and you're not an astro engineer, like, you have no authority to speak on those things. So shut the fuck up. Play your games. That's it. Nah, there's nothing you can do, Brandon. Like, any game, because there's so much shit that comes out. So Brandon asked a very good question. Actually, we could have this be part of the conversation. I won't actually stop the video at that point. We'll keep going, and I'll clip this out a little bit longer than I'd planned to. So Brandon over on TikTok asked a really good question around. He said, "Is there anything a dev can do to keep their player base long term more than the 5 to 7%?" Not that I have seen in all the years of live service games, because the reality is everybody in their everybody that plays games, we play lots of games, right? So every single month there are hundreds of games that release, if you count GOG, Epic, Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, mobile. If you're talking all of these different places where games release, there's a lot of games coming out every month. On top of which, you have things like Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Paramount, like all the streaming services. So there's lots of stuff going on in the world which can take us away from games. I don't know a single person in the world who literally plays games and only games, and that's the only thing they do is plays live service games. Like, everybody has lots of things they do. People watch TV shows, people go to the movies with their family. I think maybe 25 years ago, at the very beginning of the life cycle of MMOs, there weren't options, and so it was a little bit more normal to see a player base become heavily invested in something and stick with that thing for a prolonged period of time, because we didn't have anything else. So think back to the early days of Ultima Online or EverQuest 1. Star Wars Galaxies in the mid to late 90s, we didn't have streaming, we didn't have social media. By the way, that's another thing. Social media, people get distracted on social media as well. Um, so we didn't have all of those things capturing our attention as well. So there's not really anything a developer can do. The only thing you can do is make a game, put as much love and attention and care as you can into the content, and then put it out there to the world. And if you're very lucky, you will have a massive amount of interest at the get-go, and your initial sales will be high enough that that 5 to 7% who stick with you long term are enough to allow you to do really cool things. Even World of Warcraft, which to this day is one of the biggest selling MMORPGs of all time, has gone from, at their peak, right? At their peak, they had 12 million players paying monthly subscriptions at their peak, and that's out of 100,000 sales. So they had a 12% um, rate of players, right? 12% of the people who purchased the game were paying monthly subscriptions on a regular basis to play the game. That's about the highest we've ever seen for any title, is 12% of your player base is continuing to play continually. And even those over time, World of Warcraft does not maintain 12 million players anymore. They maintain arguably 6 to 8 million between World of Warcraft and World of Warcraft Classic, based on the numbers that I'm aware of. So even they have dropped into that 5 to 7% bracket after many years of that game being out. So I mean, as human beings, I don't think any of us ever want to do just one thing. We want to do lots of different things. We want to experience lots of different movies, lots of different TV shows, lots of different books, lots of different music bands, lots of different games. Like, we all want to experience lots and lots of things. JK says people get bored, games get old. It's not a bad thing. No, it's just normal life cycle. Like, if you eat spaghetti every single day, you're going to get tired of spaghetti. You're going to want to go have a salad, a steak, some breadsticks. You're going to want, a hamburger, a cheeseburger. You're want to go get Taco Bell maybe. I don't know, whatever it is that you like to eat. Like, there are things, people want variety. They say variety is the spice of life. Like, that's, you know, Heinrich says the other thing too is players above age 40 tend to stop playing fast-paced games. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Dune, New World Aeternum. Lots of different moms says. Well, I can tell you, well, I've seen a few over the last couple of days. Um, there's nothing you can do. Like I said, even the big, like what's a game like Valheim, right? Because Valheim is kind of like a crossbreed between single player and multiplayer, right? What was its peak? So Valheim's peak was 500,000 players, was its all-time peak. And its current 24-hour peak is 35,000. So let me go do some, I'm pulling up my calculator real quick. Let's see, 500,000 times, 10% would be 50,000. So let's just go for, let's say, I can't do math off the top of my head. Let's do 7%. Yeah, so Valheim, 500,000 players at its peak. Its 24-hour peak right now is 35,000, which is 7%. So that right there is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. That is a normal attrition rate. Valheim was a game that had universal praise, by the way, I'm only looking at Steam charts. I don't know what it's like on, because I believe that's also available on like Xbox, maybe even I think it's coming to PlayStation. So Steam charts are not the only measure of a game's success, but even Valheim, as an example, started off with 500,000 players, peaking on Steam, and then has now dropped to 35,000 after like 3 or 4 years of early access. So one could, if one were to do that stupid shit we saw at the beginning of this commentary, well, the game had 90 servers when it started, and now it's down to 3. One could also look at a universally acclaimed game like Valheim and say, well, Valheim failed. Valheim is a failure because it had 500,000 and now it only has 35,000. It failed miserably. Like, oh my god, Valheim had such a drop off. Like, no one's playing the game. God, like, Palworld has like 2 million concurrents and Valheim's like nothing. It's a dead game. Ugh. So, yeah. Nothing you could do. It's just a normal drop off rate. People get distracted. There's lots of other things to try and experience. Play lots of games is what I will tell people. Does the PS5 get the raise? Dude, Julian, the PS5 is New World Aeternum. So, New World Aeternum dropped last year on the PS5 and Xbox. There is no, like, right. You need to go to the website and do some due diligence, but I'll help you out. Um, the PS5 version of New World and the Xbox version of New World is called New World Aeternum. It includes everything. It's everything. It's all included. Anyway, that's the end of that TED Talk. Thanks for the question, by the way, Brandon. That was a good follow-up to the end of that. Because no, there's nothing you can do. You just make a good game, and if it's good, people will play it. If it's not good, it'll be something like Gollum that no one plays.